This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2014. I'm in Meta's private suite, and we're going to see their latest set of augmented reality glasses. To my far right is Meron, CEO of Meta. To my immediate right is Raymond, who's Chief Technology Officer for the company. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Well, thank you, and welcome.
Thanks so much. Welcome to our suite.
Now, nice place you got here.
I know, it's real fancy.
And
it's real big.
It's a half a suite or a quarter.
My understanding is you actually work out of a mansion now, but we'll get into that soon. Okay. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about the history of the company? So, Meron, how did you get started with this?
So about 3 years ago, when the iPhone 4 came out, I picked it up and I said, "Oh, this is the best of the form factor. From now on, it's all going to go downhill. I mean, if you make it any thinner, it's not going to be cool, or if you or too light, etc. If you make the screen too big, it won't be natural." So I wanted to change form factors. I needed infinite screen in 3D. I wanted to include the real world in it, and I wanted to be able to interact with it with the things that have evolved to manipulate my environment. So that's how Meta was started. I was a Kinect hacker at the time, so I integrated stereoscopic 3D see-through displays with the Kinect technology, or the infrared behind it, and voila, here we are.
Okay, so but you did have a Kickstarter. I mean, you had some goals set
after, right? Exactly. So the Kickstarter was 2 years into the future, and I met Steve Mann approximately at that same time, and Ray was his principal PhD student, and we all linked up together, one happy family.
It didn't just happen. Like, tell the story of how you met Steve and
Sure.
what happened, because I'm sure you were horrified when you saw what was happening at the moment. And you tell the story better.
So I came to the Level Up Gaming Conference with your generosity. I had a booth in front of the students there, and Steve Mann, the inventor of wearable computing, came to check it out with his young kids. And not only to check it out, but also to check Meta's booth out, because he and I had corresponded via email a little bit earlier. So he walked by with a swarm of PhDs around him and some press, and I believe you sort of tugged him over towards the Meta booth, and he came over, and he looks at it, and he goes, "Are you Meta? Okay, good." And he picks it up, he starts, and his PhDs start trying to break it, and they go, "Oh, he did it. Okay." The next day, Steve Mann and I got into an office and began discussing a merger between our entities.
Okay, excellent. So now, what's your role in this? Of course, you're CTO. So your introduction was breaking his valuable equipment. What happened next?
Well, actually, I met him in the lab. So he come visit Toronto, and we see each other. And at the same time, as you said, we work on very similar projects. So I built eyeglasses with Steve Mann. He's been working on this for the last 35 years. So I've been getting all the experience from the lab, and now I'm trying to funnel this to the company. So that's my role, bring all the experience from the father of wearable to this lab today. I mean, to this place today.
That's exactly the perfect definition of what Ray does. Yeah. So Steve's been living in this interface in something far more advanced than Google Glass for the last 15 years, and he's bringing all of the lessons that he's learned in terms of latency, in terms of just optics and miniaturization, etc., into Meta, and he's funneling that information so quickly, and that's how we're able to generate 2 models in 1 year. And right behind you, you have our second and most powerful model, the Meta Pro.
Now, remind me, what is Steve's current title with Meta?
He's a chief scientist.
I was joking when I said that. I know what he does. But okay, great. So why don't we, before we start looking at the equipment now, sure. Augmented reality means something a little different to different people, depending on who you're talking to, what equipment you're using. So Raymond, maybe you could describe it for us. What, in your opinion, is augmented reality?
Well, I almost want to say it's augmented reality. That pointed to the term where we're not just adding information, we're also modifying. I'll give you one example. Is the true augmented reality requires perfect registration. Let's say I want to put information around my world, it has to stick onto surfaces. Let's say I want to have a name tag, it has to be stick right next to your face. So that is what I mean by augmented reality. Information that augmented to the real world.
Exactly.
And that also require a very different approach from, let's say Google Glass is not an augmented reality tool. The reason is simple, just a display at a corner. And that information is not registered to anything around you. And that's one example.
So, well, no, okay, Google Glass is promoted as augmented reality. Obviously, it's a helpful tool,
right,
but at least it's promoted that way. Right. How would you describe the ultimate augmented reality experience? Like, can you? I know this is, these are steps in the right direction, but can you define like the ultimate experience you'd like to achieve?
Right. Make it for easy to understand is. Maybe I can get back to almost like Iron Man stuff, where I have information floating onto my palm, and all this natural interface. And maybe Meron can explain what natural computing it means. So when you have interface that's just like open like this, and it add information naturally. That's what I think what we interested in the most in this company: a fully immersive experience, not like just information clutter you everywhere. And it's like something be part of you when you open up, and there you go. This is how natural the computing will be. We're taking away the metaphor. So in iPad, have a service, you have to learn how to do it, the drag and all this. You have to double click here and there. But we can do something much easier. We're going to show you a demo today where we can create objects in space, in thin air, and you can manipulate it. You can drag it and give it to others. And the demo will be like, I create it fast, I'll live it later, and that we can interact together in space. Okay,
we're going to look at that demo very shortly. But one of the things about this industry is everyone, of course, is passionately inventing new things, yes, but they have this, I'd call it like a shared vision of where they ultimately see things going. So, for example, Oculus. Oculus is a wonderful example, yes, where they sold it based on the dream of the holodeck. Right. So what would be we'll call it the Hollywood dream image that drives this? And I'll ask Meron on this one.
Most definitely the Iron Man HMD. I think we all share that feeling at Meta, and we just hired Jace Hansen, who has created the graphics for that very HMD and for the Avengers and a number of others. So when you say, what is the Hollywood dream, it's a very, very easy answer. Natural computing means the ability to reach out and metaphor-free just grab objects and place them into, for example, a garbage can if I want to delete it, instead of having to right-click or do all sorts of complex manipulations, etc. So I think Iron Man nailed it, and we're funneling those interfaces now into Meta. It makes a lot of sense just to simplify computing that way and make it more natural, so you and I can collaboratively work on information as it would be in the real world. I think to sum up the differences between Glass, Oculus, and Meta on the level of the question, I think there are three different classes of wearable computers, and all three will succeed because there are disjoint use cases. The first subset is what I call the notification machine. Notification machine, where Google Glass is the first instance of that class, is just low CPU, low GPU information in the corner of your eye telling you where you're going next, how to get there, and when the next train there is. Essentially, information. And they are the kings of information, and they will continue to be so into the next generation of computers. Oculus is what I call the matrix machine. You put on a big thing on your head and you teleport to another reality, where simulation and stimulation is the key game. The third class of wearable computing, which is what we do, is the natural machine, and Meta is the first instance of that class. The natural machine uses the real world around you, people, and the space as part of your interface, and that is those are the key differences. Each one of those three classes has different use cases, and stands to benefit from this next generation of computers.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So I will have more questions for you,
rock and roll,
but let's start seeing the product in action.
Sounds good. Karen?
So what you're seeing in the interface behind, which I'm sure you're used to seeing from Oculus Rift demos, the right side and left side of stereoscopic demos, is our augmented reality sculpting interface. It's the first time you can create matter in thin air and then place it in a 3D printer behind you, and it comes to life. The center of our input, again, differently than Oculus, is the things that have evolved to manipulate our environment, our hands. So very easily we can control the interface a la Iron Man. I just clicked on the button over there for him. And another difference with Oculus is we're not only tracking the hands, but we're tracking the surfaces and various key points in the room. So you could see how that mesh behind over there is changing orientation with Ray's head. It's because we're tracking the environment. So let's sculpt a vase.
All right. So this is how simple it look. Let's make it like big at the bottom and thin at the very end. Done.
Okay. So we have our vase created.
So, Meron, let me give this to you.
Yeah, and collaborative computing means that I could jump in there
Right here.
and bring it up a bit closer.
Right
Awesome.
here. Ready?
Yeah, and I could very easily and naturally grab this and bring it and move it around the environment as well. So imagine a scenario where both Ray and I have these glasses on. Well, very naturally, we'll be able to see the information from different perspectives while maintaining eye contact, and I think that is a key differentiation between us and the various other classes of wearable computers. The device is 16 times the viewable area of Google Glass. It's see-through, it's immersive, it's 3D, and it is the most powerful wearable computer commercially available.
So now this was a case you're sitting next to Ray. You kind of know where his camera is and you're positioning it, but in practice, is your vision that each of you would be wearing your own Meta glasses?
That's exactly correct. Yes. Well, very very soon you'll be able to come to our headquarters in Portola and see that exact demo, and I mean in a matter of weeks.
So we have a common surface where we did interaction with, and the tracking will happen because we have the world first markerless surface tracking algorithm, and all you need is everyone in the same table or some sort of surface that's common to them, and that's all. And they have the hand grabbing onto it.
Now, one thing I didn't understand was the head tracking. Excuse me. Was the head tracking? Is it based on gyros, or are you using based just on the camera to detect how the glasses are positioned?
We use a sensor fusion, and therefore we use the IMU, as you mentioned, as well as the infrared depth sensor, which is tracking surfaces in the environment and orienting the graphics to them. So we actually use the IMU to correct for various glitches that the IR might provide, but we also have various RGB sensors in there. So, for example, in areas where the range of the IR doesn't reach, the RGB kicks in. So we have this really, really elegant set of algorithms that utilizes all of the sensors on board, and there's a lot.
Now, one of the. Sorry, you going to add something?
Oh no. To add on to that is the first service tracking can actually understand the environment more than just. Usually, when they have a marker, the difference is you have to prepare the scene. And what we understand is actually any horizontal surfaces. That's why I say sensor fusion. Just add on top, it actually have understanding of the world relative to your head. And that's how we're different from Oculus Rift, because they don't have any sort of system similar to that. They cannot do this, for example. No scale.
Okay. Now, okay. One of the bad words in this industry is latency. And I can't, with virtual reality, with head tracking, moving our heads around, I mean, it's a very bad word. But I imagine it's an even worse word in augmented reality. How are you handling that? What should the latency expectations be?
Sure. I mean, we're dealing with 30 millisecond or less translational latencies right now, but the truth is I would disagree with you on that last statement, because we're a see-through device, meaning we're getting most of the photons from the environment directly off of real objects into our eye with zero latency, or close to it. The 10% or less of the world which is augmediated by these graphics is what is affected by that latency. So I will not get seasickness, for example, if even if there's much worse latencies than Oculus, even though we're very comparable in that sense. So in augmented reality, I do believe that we achieve this way of not causing seasickness or any kind of optical problems arising from latencies.
Okay. So now I've got the hardest question, the most difficult test you could imagine.
Here we
All
go.
right, I'm waiting.
Can I try it?
Oh, definitely. How about let me print this to finish the demo. You can see how easy to drag and drop and put
He's
it.
now putting it in the
inside.
3D printer for you, so it's converting it to G-code,
Mhm.
and then it's going to send it off to the. It's converting the object which we just sculpted in real time to G-code, sending it to the printer, calculating the estimated. Okay, 24 minutes, and you can see behind there
Behind
that it's
there.
actually printing the device.
So the virtual object that I just sculpted now become a real object you can touch in about 24 seconds.
And
I mean
now
minutes.
let's give you the demo. Here we go.
Here we go, demo time. So can you see through the screen?
Yeah, I can see
And then I'll calibrate for you. Look straight. Is it straight now? Perfect. Hold up both your hands. If you could.
Can you see through it, Neil? Can you
Yeah, I can see through it.
Great.
Can you see the camera?
Yeah, I see the camera.
Perfect. So now I'll give you the microphone. And you can have both your hands. It's,
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah, it's hands free.
So now you could go ahead and click or read that message to the audience and click on it.
Okay.
So,
So let me. I'll.
so Neil, what do you think?
Okay, this is obviously very cool. So what I have in front of me, I should actually explain what just happened. These are obviously prototype glasses, and I don't know how expensive they are. They're probably very expensive prototype glasses. Now, what they did before they put the glasses on is they actually put extra lenses on to compensate, because I normally wear glasses, so they put extra lenses on to compensate for my personal prescription. Now, what I'm seeing, of course, is a clear image. It says, "Hey, Rockstar, you're about to try the first ever holographic sculpting tool." Got it. So, and now I'm going to, will it detect my hands now? Can I put my hands up?
Put them in the scene.
So I'm putting my hands in the scene. Woo! Okay.
And
so,
by the way, you could check the latency by just kind of shaking your hands around.
yeah, that's really not bad at all. So what's happening is the camera is picking up my. By the way, the camera, is it stereoscopic or is it a single camera?
It is a single infrared camera.
The mic can't hear you, so try that again. So I'm asked.
It's a single stereo. It's a single infrared depth camera, which gives you 3D information.
Okay, very good. So it's an infrared camera that. So the infrared light goes out from the camera and bounces back. Is that what's
That's correct.
happening?
It's a time of flight system, so the diffuser sends off light and washes the room, and then per pixel it calculates how long it gets to return to the aperture and creates a 3D depth map based on that.
Okay, excellent. So I could literally see my fingers and my hand.
So we're looking at the interface. Neil, would you like to describe it, or should I?
Yeah, I'll describe it. So it looks like it is a full color interface. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good. So basically, I'm seeing a clear image. It says, "Hey, Rockstar, you're about to try the first ever holographic sculpting tool." Now, there's a big button that says "Got it." So it's like a big rectangular button. Now, what the system does is, as I move my finger over the button, there's a blue string that appears, so you can kind of see how your fingers connect to the interface. And now I'm looking at a stereoscopic 3D grid, and
Exactly. You did the exact right interaction. So stick your index fingers forward until you hit those two dots.
okay.
A little bit higher. Perfect. And now, very slowly, you could start sculpting very dexterously the model, and you've just created a vase.
I'm not artistic in real life, and equally not artistic in augmented reality. So you can't blame the technology. You can only blame me. but nonetheless, now it says object completed. Drag and drop to send to the 3D printer.
So let's hit the got it message first. It's a little
So
bit
we gotta
behind
go. Yeah.
there. Gently there.
There you
you
go.
And now what you're going to do is you're going to grab it with your fist.
With one of your hands.
Oh, you just hit the reset button. It's all good. You get to sculpt another vase for free.
Yeah. So now you're much faster now because your muscle memory kicks in. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Give me some.
So.
All right.
Slowly,
Very
slowly
good.
from the
So
top.
you do it slowly,
Yeah, you
right?
do slowly.
There you go.
It's restricted for the printing. Now it goes wide slowly. Go back to the dot. Oh, okay.
There we go.
That's all good.
So I have to drag and drop. So do I press the got?
Yeah, I got it
button?
again. And now just reach out and grab the object.
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
So I'm
with your
holding the
finger.
object in my hand. Can
Perfect.
I rotate it?
You could move it. You move your head around and move it all over the room, as you can see. And you could actually open your fist right there, and I'll grab the object to show you kind of the collaborative use case. If you move your hand, oops, And open your hand again. Perfect. Now keep your hand open and move it out of the way. Awesome. And now I'll reach in and I'll grab it from you.
And you can look at the right side.
So we could identify multiple hands in the scene. So I'll open it and let you grab it now. So this is the world's first collaborative computer, in a sense. And now you can just place it into that blinking box in the corner, and it's going to 3D print it. Perfect. Nailed it.
Now, I just want to point out, it's not like dealing with like a screen and you're limited to the space of the screen. So when I'm moving objects around, the object could be in the corner of the room, and I turn my head to the corner and I see the object there. So there's obviously some kind of spatial memory happening here. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're scanning the entire room, and we're localizing information based on the geonodes in the room. So it's true Iron Man experience.
With the exception of the Iron Man suit.
That's true. That's another couple of years, but it's in R&D.
If you could print something up, I mean, that would be nice, and maybe save me a
we do
flight.
have something.
Okay, so
let's finish this by pushing the fast into the green box.
So I'm gonna grab it and
just press it a bit farther in and up and back a bit,
back.
and that's it. And then open your hand, and it's now sending to G code, converting to G code. And in a moment, it will begin sending to the printer.
Okay, good stuff.
That's good. That's done.
So, and this is it supposed to be a full color display, or is it limited to certain colors? How would you describe it?
It's a full color 720p display, and it's eons farther than anything else that's available on the market right now. Yeah, we'll shoot you another demo that shows the full color range. But suffice it now to know it's 720p, and it's 16 times the size of Google Glass in terms of viewable area. So.
Okay, good stuff. So, all right, let's move to the next segment.
Looking forward. Let's do it.
Now, this actually wasn't made by me. Who was this made by?
This was made by Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft, this morning.
Okay, very good.
Very seat that you're sitting in.
Was he a little embarrassed, or?
No, I think you did a good job. It looks like a goblet, although more than a vase, but we'll take it. I mean, it's precious piece of 3D printed material right there.
Very good, very good. So why don't we talk a little bit about where your company's gone? So you've obviously had a successful Kickstarter. I mean, you got Steve Mann on board. What happened then? I mean, have you raised additional investment based on that Kickstarter? Where did things go? Definitely.
So we've raised significant investment. Since then, we got into Y Combinator. So they invested more money into us. Since Y Combinator, we've raised a few $1 million. We've grown our team from 0 to 35. And we've hired real superstars from the industry, people who have created some of the best augmented reality products out there. One example is Rami Haroni, founder of Lumos. Lumos is widely known as the best augmented reality optics out there, so we hired him from his own company. Steve Feiner, of course, who's been my mentor since the days that I hung out with you. So he's the man who essentially reinvented the term augmented reality to what it's known as now, the ability to register digital information to the real world. And he is really one of the most experienced people out there when it comes to three-dimensional user interfaces. So having him on board is a huge honor as well. And a number of other notable people. Jace Hansen, the person who's created the Iron Man user interfaces and the Avengers stuff, Hunger Games. I mean, the list goes on. He's been living in AR longer than any one of us, or at least the AR that everyone wants. For example, Avram Reicher, who built 80-degree field of view HMDs for fighter pilots, head-mounted displays, and really a group of superstars. We've sold a few thousand Meta Ones, the developer kit, which is $667. And we launched a second product, our Meta Pro, which is the most powerful wearable computer out there.
So, is this stuff readily available now? When do you anticipate launching?
Sure. So we've launched online, and we're shipping out the Meta Ones as we speak. Right now, it's shipping out to alpha testers, and very soon, in around March, all of the development kits will be sent out. There are some perks in there, things that our developers are getting for free that are really, really cool. Check out the website on that. and the Meta Pro's out in July.
Now, something I don't understand. So, what did I just try compared to the Meta 1s and the Meta Pros?
So this is the Meta Pro. The Meta 1 is 1/4 the screen size. It's 5 times thicker in terms of the lens, and it's more analogous to Google Glass in terms of the thickness of the lens. So the Meta Pro is less than 1 millimeter thick, and it's the top of what's available commercially. This used to cost $13,000, just the optical component of what you just experienced, only a few months ago, and we've managed to reduce that cost and ship it all in one awesome package loaded with the best sensors out there.
Okay.
For $3,000.
3,000, but it's a bargain when you figure that it started off at 13K, right?
And it's also a bargain because it's 16 times the size of Google Glass. It's, in terms of viewable area, it's 5 times thinner, and it's double the price.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Ray,
Yes.
You've done rather well for yourself because I understand you live in a mansion now. Is that true?
Yes. So ever since I joined Meta, we live and work together. So now we moved to Portola Valley. We live up the hill in a mansion.
Now, that's where you work, I take it, or what's the community like in that mansion?
Well, it's like a family. I think that's a proper word to say. Like now he's like my big brothers. We all live, and basically every day we have lunch, dinner together. That's my lifestyle right now. And during that time, 100% work.
How many people are living in the mansion right now?
Offsite, we have a couple, 15, 20 approximately. Sometimes people may stay over because they would love to finish certain projects. So it's hard to say what numbers because we do have some satellite houses for others to live at as well. Because we have girls as well. Because we, certain lifestyle we have to really make sure people live and work happily.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So now let's talk a little bit about the software. I mean, we're doing 3D printing, but do you have a software developers kit? How could what do people need to make software for this?
So right now we're building the SDK for the developers. What it consists of is the hand tracking, which is what you have done just now. You drag, pinch, all this gesture will be provided to developers, and also we'll provide the service tracking, for example, where you can look onto, let's say, a desk and information overlay, the hologram that actually sticking out from the desk. And that's what we provide to the developer to build amazing application on it. Like the Iron Man, like, oh, now it's a desk. Now there's like something pops up I can grab onto and manipulate. And that's what we provide for the first generation and also for the Meta Pro. Forgot about the platform exactly. Everything is based on Unity 3D. It's very simple for people who have very minimal programming experience to create fantastic looking graphics. And all they need to do is drag and drop a couple of the script we create. Now the hands tracked and the service track, and then they can interact with it. And the Unity has 2 million developers, and we're trying to open this to the biggest possible. iOS may have 1 million. We double the number of amount of developers who can actually use this platform.
Now, I got a bit of a tough question for you.
That's what I'm here for.
Now, I'm only using this as an example. When Oculus launched, they did a Kickstarter. The head-mounted display was all of $300, and it went out to something like, to date, I think it's like 50,000 individuals, independent developers.
Sure.
Now, in this case, it's $3,000 a piece, and I'm certain it's worth every penny. But is that costing issue something that could debilitate or handicap, should I say, the means to create new software for it?
Sure. So our developer kit is $667. And when you compare the offering to, say, Google Glass, you have a 4 times the size of the screen. It's 3D because it's stereoscopic, and it's see-through, which is the real difficulty here, right? Because if we were dealing with Oculus-style LCDs that were blocking the real world, well, that stuff is cheap. But when it comes to high-quality optics that you can see through but also see on, that's when the expensive price tags. But even so, we were able to bundle in an infrared sensor, an IMU, which Oculus does as well, admittedly, and a number of other sensors that Oculus does not have, all in an offering of $667, which I think that developers took to very nicely. After the Kickstarter, we launched a campaign on our website, spaceglasses.com, and we sold over $1 million in a short period of time. And then the Meta Pro, which is our next generation, is selling really nicely as well. So the Meta Pro is an early adopter device that's more directed at the same people who bought Glass. And the Meta 1, 2, 3 line is directed at more of the kinds of developers that bought Oculus.
Excellent, excellent. And what, in your opinion, what do you think are going to be the first applications that take advantage of this?
Games, tabletop gaming. Everyone's going nuts for that. They want to play Warhammer. They want to play chess with pieces that come to life. I mean, this idea of collaborative computing is blowing everyone's minds, but particular gamers. Laser tag in the office where I could, aim for my boss's head, and the list goes on of really cool collaborative games. That extends then to collaborative, 3D modeling and design. So architecture firms are buying this as to be able to display information to their customers, as to be able to model things together and put things in 3D printers like you've already experienced today. That solves them a huge headache. Surgeons have been purchasing this for obvious reason. The idea that you could track an MRI or CAT scan to a body as you're performing surgery. And I think productivity geeks are getting this because it's 4 times the size of a MacBook Pro 15-inch screen, and they can do their coding on it, and they no longer have to use any more monitors. The kicker is this giant monitor that's sitting in front of you that's sharp enough to be able to code with at high resolutions. I could look to the right and get another one, a completely disjoint monitor. And then I could look a little farther, and there's another monitor here that's just tracked there. As you mentioned earlier, you stuck the vase far away out of your field of view, but when you look back, it was there again. So imagine this device replacing all of your monitors, but allowing you to sort of place a ring of monitors entirely around you and have a potentially infinite number of monitors. So then you could swipe it all away when someone comes into the room and you're back into real world, and we can make eye contact, and perhaps I can demonstrate what this code is doing to you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now, this is, of course, I gather, a prototype.
Right.
Okay, so when we were putting it on with the lenses, and it is heavy. And what are you planning to do as far as ergonomics are concerned to make it more comfortable?
I think that's almost our strength is we have very quick iterations in-house. This is what we built last week. And next week we have something lighter, and the week after will be something lighter. And 2 things we adjust right away is the bulk that you saw there. We'll make it much thinner and smaller. And that's my answer for you. Iteration every day. That's the only way to get this smaller.
I have another answer. Steve Mann. So he's been building and wearing these things for 15 years. He has every ergonomics trick in the book, and he's the one responsible for the ergonomics of this device. So you're going to have a very comfortable, very lightweight device at the shipping date, which is in 6 months.
One more.
That's a great answer. I'm going back to Toronto this week, and that will be something I'll bring back and iterate on.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So one more question for you. Do you see this as a device that people will be wearing all day long wherever they go, or do you see it as a utilitarian device where people choose to wear it certain times of the day for certain purposes?
In the longer range timeline, it's going to replace your flat devices, and it's going to be something you wear all day. And that's the vision that we're pushing towards, and that's why we're trying to build this most comfortably as to be an all-day device. At the beginning, people are going to probably take it off and sort of have it hanging around their neck during the day and put it on when they need it. And that's just the natural evolution of these devices, I think.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for joining us, and as Meron, Ray, it's very exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how things progress. And I may take you up on the offer of keeping this.
Keep the Paul Allen one. And another thing, I just wanted to thank you a lot because you have a very, very big moment in history that you sort of facilitated for the history of this company, where I met Steve Mann at your booth, and so thanks so much for that.
Please, I'm just very proud that things come of these things. So you've really come very far with this. I mean, I remember when we first met. When we first met, it was like this little notebook computer. You were fumbling to get it working for Steve, and you know, the biggest excitement was like your fingers were like woo, and that was the excitement for the day.
From that to Iron Man 3D printing
with Iron Man, the guy doing the graphics for Iron Man helping you do the work. I mean, I think that speaks volumes, and I really think you're going to go far with this, and yourself as well. And it sounds like you've got a really strong team. You're working out of a mansion as it is. So, really, I'm very I don't know if proud's the word, but proud that I had anything to do with that.
Thank you so much.
And
come visit us in Portola Valley. We're waiting.
Okay, we'll do. So this is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2014. We will, of course, be back with more. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.